stream. This is about piano tuning and how to start your own successful business. And I want to welcome you and just thank you for showing up for this. Check it out. It's going to be a great 40 minutes. I'm going to try to get through this in about 40 minutes, and it's going to be really eye-opening for you guys to see, especially if you've been toying around with the idea of making your own business. My name's Eric Roberts. I'm the owner here at Apex. And yeah, I've tuned and worked for many people over the last 18 years in my business in piano tuning. John Legend, Harry Connick Jr., Craig Morgan. That's what I like about Sunday, Tony Bennett, Garth Brooks, June Carter Cash. And this week, I just tuned for Coldplay, which Coldplay, they've been up in that news for a while, this whole Coldplay thing. But I got to tune for a private event with Coldplay this week. I don't have pictures of that right now. I also work for Neon Cross Studios here in Nashville. I've worked for Eric Church, the Black Crowes, Orville Peck, Lanco Band, many more. Here's my wife, Emily, my son, Augie, and my little dog, Bear. He's back there sleeping on the ground right now. Bear, he's a good little dog. I didn't even like dogs until I met Bear, and Bear's my best buddy. He's my best buddy. My wife's a stay-at-home mom, and we are a single-income family. And the reason I can even do this is because we are a single-income family because of piano tuning. That's why. My lifestyle is all because I found piano tuning and started my own business instead of working for somebody. And I'm going to share my story a little bit in this, so you'll see exactly how I got where I'm at, where I am today, and exactly how you can do the same thing. That's what this is all about. So why are you here? What are you doing here? What are you doing here? You want a better future? You want more money, a better job? You want more family time? Maybe you love music and the arts and you're just looking for a creative business to do in music. That's pretty cool, to be able to make money doing music. You want to be able to work when you want to. You want to be able to choose how much money you make. I mean, these things all can happen when you're a business owner. And maybe you like your job now, but you just want more. You're just like, you know what? I'm kind of bored with my job and I don't want a job anymore. I'm going to show you guys in this webinar web class how to get rid of your job, how to actually just get rid of it and not even worry about having a job. I can show you how I make over $100 an hour, how I make my own schedule, how I became my own boss, how I can name my own price now, work in the music industry. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to show you the next exact step you need to take to ensure your success in this, okay? You want to build your life. That's what this is about, building your life. Who wants to build somebody else's life? Nobody. In fact, I was reading a meme the other day, and it was like talking about, basically people who are wealthy are people who own businesses. Going to work and building somebody else's wealth is fine, but it's not optimal. So let's talk about how you can build your life in this webinar and how we can do that. Make sure if you want to just leave a comment below, let me know you're here. I'll try to keep my eye on comments today. But I want to show you guys some pictures because really at the end of the day, what you want to have fulfillment in your life, right? You want to build your own life. You want to have a better life. You want to have, you don't want to just do what everybody wants you to do. You want to do something you want to do. And what I wanted to do when I was in my mid-30s was spend time with my family. And this is piano tuning allowed me to do this. I'm going to share again my story as we go, but the payoff, the big payoff is this is Daddy Days, and the Daddy Days were Thursdays. Started when my son was 6 months old, and this is what it looks like. This is a Thursday. We're bowling, and as you can see, nobody's bowling right now. Everybody's at work, but we're bowling on a Thursday. This is us hanging out. We painted that bike there, and this is amazing. I never want to forget how amazing it was to be able to take off every Thursday and just be like, what do you want to do? Let's go ride bikes. Let's go bowling. Sometimes I would get called into a studio to do a tuning on a Thursday, and I would take my son with me. And so he's standing in front of, I think this is in MTSU Studios, and he's standing there like, yeah, look at that. He's like, America, in the recording studio. He was able to kind of come with me. So we probably, I think on this day we tuned a piano, and then we went to, he loved eating at MTSU when they had pre-COVID, they had you could pay $7 and eat at the student union or whatever they called it at MTSU, but it was amazing. So he loved to go with me on these days, and that was my choice. I could take him in there and it was fine. He even wearing his flip flops. He's a little little hillbilly. Time with the family when you want. I could have time with my family when I wanted it. I could just say, I'm going to take this day off. I'm going to just go work for an hour. I'm going to be back home a lot of times, and I'm going to share my schedules. I'll be done by noon, and I'll just be back with my family, and I'll have already made more than some people make in an entire week working a job. Let's keep this going. I get fired up with this. Free time and money for your life. All right, that's what you want. You want this? This is my favorite picture. It's the last picture of my son I'm going to show you, I think, in this webinar. This is a coffee shop we would go to every week, and it was right by the pizza shop we went to. Look at this. This is one of my favorite pictures, and I never, ever want to forget, if I had just been working a job, I would have missed out on all these opportunities, and I don't want to try to get all emotional and try to do all this to you guys today in this webinar. That's not what it's about, but I got to be real with you, and when you're thinking about your life, you better be thinking about your family and what your legacy and what you want to do. And working 80 hours a week to build somebody else's business is not the plan. I want you guys to think of something better, and we're going to think about it today. I get this question a lot. Are there enough pianos to make a full-time living tuning pianos? Like, everybody looks at me and they look at me kind of like this. They say, "What do you do for a living?" "I'm a piano tuner." They look at me like, What is a piano tuner? I mean, what they think it's some kind of hobby or some kind of, and in the beginning I thought, well, I didn't, it was weird, But yeah, there are enough pianos to make a full-time living in your city. More now than even ever, even though people might say pianos are going away. There's no more, everybody's on keyboards, et cetera, et cetera. That's a bunch of malarkey. My local business has over 100 5-star reviews in Nashville and Dayton. We've been at this for a while, over 18 years. We have over 4,500 clients. Actually, that number's bigger. This was in 2022. Our number has been growing and growing still. But as you can see, this year right here in 2022, we did 686 appointments. We doubled every year for the first 5 years. I'm going to show you how it's done. My piano tuner friend that works for me, his in Dayton, he works 3 days a week. And in 2021, I wrote him a check at the end of the year. It was a total of $79,000 for just 3 days a week. He works part-time, and he's making $80,000 in 2021. This is the 2021 year profit and loss. All right. So you're in the right place at the right time. The world needs piano tuners right now. And why? Because many piano tuners retire every month. Men and women who have been tuning for decades, they build up thousands of clients. They turn off their phones and they quietly retire, or they sadly die, which a lot of unfortunately, my mentors, I still have one living, but a couple of my top number mentors have passed away. But this is a huge opportunity for new tuners to come in and build strong, successful local businesses. You can work for schools, universities, churches, music schools, music teachers, recording studios, restaurants, live music venues, all that stuff like that, all that. So how can it be? What is it? Can it be this easy? You're saying this sounds too easy. You launch your Apex style piano tuning website and Google listing. You use automated booking system called Gazelle, and you get bookings and they come to your phone. Just like if you were, a lot of you guys can think about DoorDash. You just look at your phone. Oh, go pick up this and go drop this off, and you do your work. You know what? That's simple. About 2 hours. You can work on a tuning, and it's just like, it's set up just kind of like that. The Apex system is similar to DoorDash, only you make a trash ton more money tuning pianos than you ever will DoorDash. Sorry, DoorDash, that's just true. You can work a couple hours and make $100 to $200, $300, plus you can upsell and repair. So let's do the day in the life of a piano tuner. Okay, here's what it happens, and I'm going to show you actually, how I tune a piano here in a second. You drive, you meet your clients, you inspect the piano, you tune the piano, then you do a condition report. You tell them, hey, this is what needs done in your piano, and then you get paid. You were scheduled for 6 months later. You go get some coffee, and maybe you go do another appointment, make some even more money. In that little hour and a half exchange between me and the piano and my client, I'll typically make between $175 to $250 in that hour. Okay, so how is a piano tuned? It's one string at a time. So I'm going to show you a little video clip of me tuning a piano, and I want to include this in the webinar just in case this is maybe the only webinar you see from Apex, so you can kind of see like, okay, this is what it's like. This is going to sound a little strange, but it's going to be me showing you inside my piano how I tune a piano. And guys, this is how you look at it. It's one string at a time. Sure, there are lots of strings, but once you learn this skill of tuning that one string at a time, and you learn the Apex method of how to actually tune a piano professionally and well, then you can do it. And yes, it is a skill that takes some time to learn, but hey, it's a skill that pays a lot of money. Watch this video. All right, let's put the whole process together. We're going to tune this middle C. I'm going to mute out with my two mutes, the right and the left, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the right pen, follow my hammer up, and I'm going to tune C to stop the lights. It's a little flat right now. I'm going to pull it up and tune it perfectly to the lights. Notice I give just a little bit of a harder blow at the end. The lights are rolling a little to the left. You know, is that perfect enough? Probably good enough for now, but I'm going to do it again. I just want to pull it up. Just hit the note. So I'm pushing down. And I get those lights to stop on that middle string. Now all I have to do is simply reach down and remove the right mute. I move it over to the other set of strings to get it out of the way. Now I'm listening to that middle string and that right string, okay? And so it sounds out of tune. Make sure I have a good angle on my tuning hammer. I'm going to pull back to get that above. Now I'm just going to tap it down. Till they sound like one string. Now, to train your ear with your eye using your tuning device, you simply reach in. You know the middle string is perfect to the device. You can mute out that middle string with your finger. So you just touch that middle string, and so just listen to the right string you just tuned and look at the meter. It's dead stopped, so my ear was really good on that one. If it's not dead stopped, it will show you you're a little flat, you're a little sharp. You can start over. If you're flat, you got to come pull up again and start over. Just a little yank. So now we got that down. The middle and the right sound like one. Sounds very good. You're going to remove the left mute. Okay, now you take the left mute, move it over to where it's muting out the right string. So now you are hearing the middle and the left. Okay, take your tuning hammer, move it to the top pin. Make sure it's in a good orientation. So you don't want it over here at 3 o'clock, either at noon or 11. Now you're going to listen to this left string with the middle string. And you're going to hear this You can even mute that middle string and see that that left string is very flat. Those lights are going to the left really hard. So I'm going to tune that left string to the middle. I'm going to pull up just a little bit. You can hear when it's kind of where it needs to be. Now you can even check. So I pulled it sharp, and that's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to start pushing down. Till it sounds like one string. Now, as you're using your ear and your eye together, your eye is really training your ear. You can reach down and touch that middle string, so all you're going to hear is that left string now. And look at the meter and see how close you are. Dead on. Now if you want to, you can keep going. You can go to the C sharp, and you have the middle string already open, and that's why the walking mute works. It's going to walk you all the way up the piano. But now you can take out all the mutes and listen to those 3 strings. This is a 3-string unison sounding like one single string. All right, guys, I got it. You got it. You heard it. Ding, 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 ding. I hope you're still watching the video. All right, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? Just watching that go on and on. You know, like that's what it is. I was also perusing my Facebook feed while that video was going on. I should never, ever, ever have done that. I'm so sick of those people on the Facebook group that I'm in, just being so weird. Anyway, anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. Okay. Do you have to be a musician? No. Do you have to know how to run a business? No, you don't have to. Let's back up 18 years so you can breathe a sigh of relief. You don't have to be a musician, and you don't have to have run your own business before. I'm going to show you how to do everything, and that's the key to this. But let's back up 18 years on my origin story. How did this happen? It started with one piano, that was on fire. And this piano looks like it was trashed. I mean, my piano wasn't this bad. My piano that I got was a grand like this. It was a Yamaha actually, but it was in a building or in a house that was on fire. But the piano was like in a room that wasn't on necessarily, didn't catch fire, but the soot and the smoke and all the stuff kind of got on top of the piano and in the piano. And so I started, it was given to my church. And, I look at this, this picture has got to be AI. It's got to be AI because this makes no sense. Like when I look at this picture and it's got to be some AI picture because the action inside this piano, it's like, it looks like a grand piano on the front, but it's the action inside is definitely an upright piano. I don't know. So it's completely ridiculous, this whole picture, unless this is some kind of, no, this is just AI. But the point is the piano was in a house. It was on fire. And the piano got soot in it. And so I called my buddy Jack. He was a master piano tech, piano wizard. I said, hey, Jack, I'm working at this church. I got this piano. Can you help me come fix this piano? Like, come look at it because we got this piano given to us. It's kind of dirty. And he came and he said, hey, look, the piano's good. Let's just put some new bass strings on it and clean it. And you can use this piano. He checked it out and it wasn't destroyed, you know? So I started working with Jack and he inspired me to start tuning pianos during that time. He said, hey, you take an online course to tune pianos and you can ask me any questions you want along the way. But just, he said, Eric, I'm making $600 a day, and he was trying to explain to me in a nice way, like he goes to the bank or he goes out to eat and he sees these people working and he realizes I'm making so much money compared to just a regular job. And he looked at what I was doing and he was right. I was making about $800 a week total before taxes. And part of that was housing. And it was a pretty sweet gig. It was a job at a church, but I call it a gig as a musician or whatever, but it was a church job, and I thought it was pretty good. But he was making over $600 per day, and he was just kind of like cracking up how fun it was. And he was telling me, you know what, you would be good at this. So I had heard that before, so I started training, and I helped Jack put new strings on that piano, and everything was going great. And then it happened. They called me in. The pastor called me and said, hey, come in on Monday. I got to talk to you. And I lost my job. I had a job one day. And the next day, I had zero job. A Zillow goodbye job. I left, packed up my office, and I went home. I was like, hey, I don't have a job anymore. And you know what? I was kind of sick of having a job anyway. So thank God that this happened because then I just quit working. I said, I'm not going to get another job. And Jack's making all this money. Like, I'm just going to do what he does because look how successful he is. He inspired me to kind of think outside the box. And I said, I'm not going to get another job. So I packed up my stuff and I started tuning pianos, and that's what happened. Now, what happened next is I put myself out there. I got my first 100 clients. And then every year since that day, I had doubled my business for about 5 years. And yeah, I'll tell you guys how I do it. I'll show you how I do it because I put it all together in the Apex Business Framework. But I started getting good. About 200 clients in, I realized I'm going to tune these people's pianos this year, and next year they're going to still need their piano tuned. It's going to go out of tune, so I'm going to tune it again. And so I went and I tuned their piano again the next year, and then the next year, and then they told their friends and their family and their church, and we have a church here. The first tuning I got, I went up to a church pastor and I said, hey, I was noticing your piano sounds out of tune. He said, oh yeah, we can't find anybody. Can you do it? And I said, yeah. And he hired me. I went in, and the first tuning that I got for pay was that next day on a Monday. I went in and I got my tuning for pay because I just said, hey, the piano's out of tune. I can fix that. Hey, that's really how simple this is. The Apex Business Framework, I've made all the mistakes. I figured out all the successful moves. I built this myself in 2 states, in 2 huge markets. I've walked my students through the process. They have amazing success, and I'm going to help you do the same from launch to 1,000 clients. The Apex Business Framework and the checklist that you get when you get into the Apex program is absolutely phenomenal. In fact, I'm going to share some numbers with you here of my own students. TJ made $50,000 his first year, and he started tuning after 2 months. He started the mentorship about a year and a half ago, started tuning after 2 months of training. He started making money, and his first year, he was over $50,000. Now, TJ was flat dead broke. It changed his entire life. But TJ, he had to make it happen. He runs Oak and Ivory Piano Company now, and he has a great success, and it's all because he said, yeah, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen. Let's go on to Joe. Joe made $5,000 in tunings last month. Joe started about 2.5 years ago. Last month he told me, he kept texting me a couple months ago, and he's like, hey, I sold another action regulation. Hey, I sold another action regulation. And he came on the podcast about a month ago and said in June and July, or May and June, he had upsold over 25,000 in action rebuilds, and in May and June. He's killing it. Okay. Joe is also now a mentor in the program. So when you join in Apex, you're not just going to have me teaching you this stuff, the old guy who's been doing this 18, 20 years. You're going to have these younger, new technicians who are doing the program and who are actually successful. He runs Bovie Piano Tuning and Service. He's a registered piano technician. And, bonus, Joe teaches an advanced master class on oral tuning, the Apex Way. He created that whole system, and he can show you how to become an RPT. Karina did the same thing. She launched her own business. She now tunes for MTS recording program, and I texted them and asked them how many people they were tuning for, and they texted me back, and now I'm not going to remember it right now. But Joe did tune for, what did he tune for? Willie Nelson? I'll look it up here. It's not going to be that hard to look it up. These guys are tuning for all these famous people now in their own town. It's like, it's not every day you get to tune for somebody famous, but you do get to tune for some famous people. This week I tuned for Coldplay, and I asked some of my students who they tuned for, and they said, somebody said, I didn't tune for anybody famous. Karina tuned for Five for Fighting concert a couple months ago. She tunes for MTSU. Joe tuned for John Mellencamp, Willie Nelson, and Andy Grammer. And I like Andy Grammer, dude. That guy's awesome. And then Scott said, most of my customers are famous for saying it's a little out of tune. So nobody else famous there. So they're sharing that on there. So we've had, and TJ tuned for Hanson, which it's funny. They were little kids back when they got famous, but now they're not little kids anymore. Karina runs her own piano tuning business called Greenway. She's certified through Apex. Emerson Gale, another great example of somebody. He's tuning, running his tuning business now, but he was a music teacher and still is. And he realized, I have all these people in my city doing all this music, and they're looking up to me, and they all have pianos, and there's no piano tuners up here where I'm at. So he's running his own in the Upper Valley in East Central Vermont. I love Vermont. I love it up there. And I love Emerson's website. I love his logo. Out of all of my students in the past and alumni, I think he's got the best logo, and darn it, it isn't on here. It's not on here. I don't have it on here, but it's amazing. You can look it up. Just look up Emerson Gale Piano Tuner. You'll find it. But if you say, well, how much money can you make as a piano tuner? How much money can you make? Well, and I had this broken up into a bunch of slides, but really I want to break it down real quick for you today. I don't want to get you, I'm going to talk about numbers today, but I love talking about numbers, right? But I don't want to talk about them all day because maybe you don't love them as much. I'm gonna ease it down for you. If you want to work 10 hours a week or less, you're gonna be making $37,000 a year. That's tuning to maybe 5 pianos a week, 1 a day, something like that. Simple. You're way side hustle, weekend warrior, growing it to a full-time. If you're gonna get into a part-time job with this, you can easily make $78,000 a year. You still have time for your family, time for creativity, time for ministry, volunteer work. It's really simple to see this. You're doing, maybe 10 tunings a week. 10, 15 tunings a week, you're making easily, you're going to break it down. I broke it down a little bit better in my other webinars, but I'm going to keep it surface today because you can still work part-time and still make 70, 80,000 a year. And if you want to get into a full-time gig, you can kind of work semi-full-time, not like full-time corporate. When they say full-time corporate, it's like 60, 70 hours a week. You can be making over $100,000 a year. That's what you can do. So let's do a day in the life. How do you do that? What does it look like every day if you're going out tuning a piano? Well, I leave my house at 9:30 if I'm going to tune. I tune one piano at 10 o'clock. I charge $225. Okay. I'll take a break. I'll tune another piano at noon, and I'll do a pitch raise on that piano, $325. I'll eat lunch at 1:30, and then I'll repair a pedal maybe at 3 o'clock, $275. That's one day of work. That's 3 separate appointments. That's $875. That's pretty typical if I'm going to be out all day. So almost $1,000 in a single day. A simple day for me if I'm done by 12:30, if I'm saying I'm just going to work part-time, I'm not going to do a whole bunch. I'll leave my house about 8. Get to one piano at 9 o'clock. I'll tune it, $225. I'll go directly to my next tuning at 11:30, and then we're talking like $225. I'm done for the day. I'll go eat lunch at home, go take a nap, whatever. Actually, to be honest with you, I like napping. And lately, I like napping a lot. I don't know why it's so hot. I just want to go home and take a nap. So I'm going to go home and eat lunch, take a nap, and watch some stupid show on Netflix. income $450. Who cares? I already made money for the day. I don't have to listen to anybody's stupid crap in their meetings or anything. I don't have to do any of that anymore. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore, and I can just go home and take a nap and relax. That's how old I feel right now. A regulation day would be like this. Maybe I pack my lunch or in my truck, and I leave by 9. I usually like to start regulations around 10. And I did this yesterday. Start at 10, exactly what I did. I set up my tools and I regulate the piano. I work about 3 to 6 hours. I listen to Joe Rogan. I didn't listen to podcasts yesterday. You know what I listened to yesterday? I listened to Alan Jackson. I listened to old country Alan Jackson, old country music. And I eat lunch out of my car. I just go eat lunch when I'm working. I had my wife packed me, what'd she pack me? What's that? Peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It wasn't really that much. I didn't feel that good. I just ate that. And I was done by about 4 o'clock. And yesterday was 1,700. So I did a little extra regulation. I even had my one of my techs come over and tune it for me while I just hung out with the client. Really easy day. I billed 1,700. I'll pay my tech a couple $100. So I've still made 1,500 for the day. I didn't even work the whole day. I mean, to me, it felt like a full day because I really did, I was there from like 10 to 4. But still, put it in perspective, right? You can make enough money. And Apex is different. Why? Why is Apex so different? Why? You can look around at different schools. You can go on Facebook and try to learn from those people, those crazy wackos. You go on Facebook and try to learn from those crazy people on Facebook. You can go on Facebook and just be like, how do I tune a piano? And then they'll just tell you all this stuff, and then they'll just heckle you all day. And they heckle me all the time on there. I don't know why. I think it's because I say funny stuff. But, Apex is different because Apex is old school oral methods. They take years to learn that stuff. Apex is not that. Apex is a simple ETD method. And it's not just take your phone out and tune the piano. No, it's a whole thing. You're going to learn the Apex way. So I use the AccuTuner personally, but a lot of my students use what they call TuneLab, and some even use Piano Meter. You follow the lights and you tune it. So old school oral methods take years to learn. This is what it's not. This is not what Apex is, okay? What Apex is. It's not old school oral methods, because that takes years to master. Okay, I need to make this slide a little more, kind of interesting or cool or something. Apex is different because in 90 days you can launch your own business. You remember TJ did it in 2 months. Typically, I'll see my students launch between 3 to 6 months. And it's a 3-year mentorship, so you are never alone, and you get lifetime support and lifetime access. Because of the electric tuning device method that we use, you can skip years of struggle and uncertainty, and you can start tuning for pay quickly. Not only can you start tuning for pay, guys, Joe's been tuning for about 2 years. Joe tuned for Andy Grammer last month, okay? TJ's been tuning for 1.5 years. He's tuned for Hanson. These are Grammy and award-winning musicians, and they're doing huge venues. Karina's been tuning just 1 year or 2. She's tuning every week for MTSU Recording Studios, one of the biggest recording studio schools in the United States, and they love her, and she does a great job. And she does this through using the Apex way. Guys, it's just how it is. It's just different. You don't get that kind of success by just going on and trying to do some kind of oral temperament or trying to spend 10 years trying to learn to tune a piano. Look, it just doesn't happen. When Jack, and I this isn't in this webinar, but Jack was tuning pianos by ear forever, for like 20 years, my mentor Jack. And then all of a sudden he listens to Tim. Tim's pianos sound better than his. And he's like, well, dang, Tim, what are you doing? And Tim said, well, hey, Jack, I'm using the AccuTuner. You should try it. And then Jack started going, okay, I'm on this. He got an AccuTuner, realized he was faster, better, more, better tunings. And he was a musician. He knew what he was doing, right? He could hear it. Some people just theorize that the tuning's better, right? They just think that it's better, but they really don't know. And most people can't really tell a difference, so it doesn't matter too much. But the PTG, those people who said, they say, oh, you got to do this by ear. We're going to train you by ear and all this stuff. Back in the late 90s, they were fighting about the ETD method and the oral method, trying to do by ear, and saying that these guys saying, I can do it better by ear, and yada, 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 blah, blah. So they had this big thing. I should put that slide in here. I'm gonna put that in here. I'm just gonna make it. It's gonna be right here. This right here is gonna be the PTG tune off is what it's called, and I'm gonna put it in there. So I'm gonna make that slide there. And I'm also gonna put a slide in here for Jack because I want to talk about this. You guys need to understand understand this stuff, right? That Jack and Tim, that's funny. I could make a thing. So we told the story about Jack and Tim. We told the PGG tune-off was basically a bunch of piano tuners. The highest level concert piano tuners tuned these two identical pianos when nobody was looking. One of them used an AccuTuner or like a computer device. One of them used their ear, and they're both high level concert tuners, right? And then they went, and over the weekend, thousands of piano tuners went in and played the pianos and got to judge and pick which one was better. And the one that was tuned with the electronic tuning device won by like 60, 70, 80%. Okay, it just trashed the other one. So for all those people out there who spend all their time saying that ETD tuning is not the right and not optimal, and you got to tune by ear and you got to do all this stuff, and now they're saying, well, you can use the ETD, but you still have to check by ear. Bull crapola. I call bull crap on that, because these guys, that's just all theory. In real life, when you're in real life, you can use the AccuTuner and tune a piano crispy, clean. Oh, it's so good. Are you going to outbeat it with your ears sometimes? Maybe you could outbeat the AccuTuner on some weird thing. But the thing is guys, every day you're out there making money. You're not talking about this. You're not even having these conversations with your clients, right? You're tuning the piano with the AccuTuner. You're making it sound killer. You're leaving. You're getting paid. That's the point. That's the Apex way. That's why it's really a lot different. That's why you can start in 90 days. That's why you can do this and you can get high ratings, number 5-star ratings, because everybody's going to say, hey, I can't believe how good this piano tuning sounds. Okay, one more. I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more. The studio, the Nashville studio. Okay. I tune for some Nashville studios. I don't do a lot of Nashville studio tunings. I'm not really into that scene. I love studios, but it's like political, and there's people that tune there, and I don't really care that much. I just I like when I get the calls. I got a call the other day. Like I said, I got to tune for Coldplay, and I get a call and I get to tune for these people. I like to tune for people I like. So my friend, who I like a lot, called me and said, hey, we're doing a session, and I gave him your number because I want you to tune this piano, because the piano tuner we got down here for all these decades, it's just crap, So I went in and I said, yeah, I'll come tune the piano for your session. It was his band, and his producer called me and said, look, come in here. I tune the piano and I leave, and I do as good of a job as I could ever think I could ever do, right? I tune it as good as I could do it for my friend, because I think I got to tune this piano really good, as good as I could ever do for my friend. And I did as good as I could do for him, and I left. And then he called me and said, man, dude, that was killer. The studio engineer and his band, they all were like, that was the best sound. That piano's never sounded that good ever. That was amazing. Like we changed the whole arrangement of one of these songs for that, and we made this whole song based on the piano, because it sounded it sang so much better than we've ever heard it. And so I was like, yeah, that felt good. You know what? It feels good, because sometimes as a piano tuner, you don't feel so good about yourself. You're always nervous that it's not going to be as good as it could be, or you're nervous something will be out of tune during a recording. And I take that stuff really seriously. For me, I just feel like if I'm going to get called to tune in a studio, it better be just dead on perfect, right? And pianos are hard to tune. It's not like the easiest thing you ever do. So, and you work for years and decades to be as good as you can. So when you get those calls, you got to have confidence and you do your thing. So what I'm saying is, those guys out there tuning by ear, saying that they can out-tune the AccuTuner, I go in there, I use the AccuTuner, I use my Apex method, I set those pins like I know how to do it. I do what I do as good as I can do it, and then the engineer, the studio, the band, and we're talking, this is a big band, like big studio. They're like, it's better, the best we've ever heard. We're calling you next time. Like, we can't believe how good it is. And you know what it is? It's the AccuTuner. It's the Apex way. That's why it's different, guys. That's why it's different. The Apex way has 4 main things. There are 4 main things in the Apex way. Okay. Tune, repair, regulate, and voicing. Those are the 4 things that if you can do this, you can make a ton of money. And if you can skip all the mistakes and do these things, you can do it the right way. Tune, repair, regulate, voice. Now, my mentors, I used to say like, oh, I should do this. I should move pianos. I should do repairs. I should do all this stuff. And they would say, no, don't mess with that. Don't do that. I even told them like, I'm going to go to PTG meetings and try to get involved. They said, well, and my one mentor, thank God he was there for me, said, if you want to go in there and test yourself and sit around and talk all day about all these, theorize about all this stuff, then then go ahead. But if you want to go make money, just go make money. Just go tune and go make money. Like there was so much politics and issues in those meetings that I think they just decided, you know what, this is not for us. And the guys that I worked under were really high level. So I was like, well, yeah, maybe I don't need to go sit around and go blah, blah, blah all day. Maybe I could just go tune pianos and be my own artisan piano tuner. And that's what I did, right? And I'm glad I did that. So this is the 4 main things. When I would go to Jack and say, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, he'd say, tune, repair, regulate, voice. And he's right. This is the bread butter. This is the big money in piano tuning. You can do rebuilding, you can do hammer shaping, you can do all kinds of stuff. There's all these little niches in the business, but what Apex teaches and what I teach you to do is be a successful field technician doing this. And so let's get into it. Maybe you're like, hey, I want to do this, and I want to give you this this reality right here. Manual labor versus piano tuning, okay? I talk a lot about the 6-figure trades in some of my other webinars. Today, I'm not going to talk as much about that, the 6-figure trades, but manual labor versus piano tuning. This is manual labor, and I see it all the time. In fact, on my way to piano tunings, I pass people doing manual labor, and I think to myself, oh my gosh, that looks terrible. Like, I'm not talking down to any of these people doing this work. This is hard work, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how they have the strength to get up and go do this hard work. They're going to be in the sun all day. They're going to be on their knees. And I've done a lot of manual labor. I've put tile and wood flooring in my house, and I was sore for a week after that. I've done a lot of manual labor. But as my profession, my dad would always say, work harder, not work harder. My dad would say, work smarter, not harder, right? And that's kind of, I need to put that in there because I need my dad to, I need to feel like, this is what my dad said, and he's right. That's what he wanted me, to do my whole life. Work smarter, not harder. So yeah, you can make money doing all kinds of stuff, but you can also make money tuning pianos. Now this guy is tuning pianos in a nice air-conditioned, hopefully it's air-conditioned, nice air-conditioned, performance venue. And these people are just basically manual labor. Now, when you have a little bit higher skill, then you can get a little more money to do maybe something that's not as hard. Okay, so that's it. Work harder, not smarter. You guys can figure that out, right? Work harder, not smarter. Piano tuning is the epic trade because it costs less to learn, it takes less time to learn, and you can make more money than other trades, hands down, period. This isn't a job either, though. This is your business. This is a major deal. This is not a job. This is your business. Like when you become a piano tuner, you're not working for somebody else. You're working for you. Your business is going to grow, and you're going to have reap all the benefits of it. When you think about this, and this is really important because some of you are in that point in your life where you're like, I need to go back to college, I need to get a degree, I need to make more money. And I do have a degree in music education, but I didn't use it as much because piano tuning made more money than I could have ever made teaching like school, like say public school as a music teacher. Plus I didn't want to do that anyway. But 60% of confirmed bachelor's degree earners graduated within 6 years, and the 6-year average cost of attendance was $207,000. $207,000 was the average that it took them 6 years to get out of school. Okay, that's a long time, guys. Okay, that's a long time. 6 years, $200,000, guys. And the median starting salary for a college graduate is $47,000. Okay, so you can work for 6 years, spend over $200,000, get out, and hope that you can get a job making $47,000. All right, it's a no-brainer. It costs more money to go to college. It costs less money to learn piano than going to college. It's money and time, guys. Money and time, money and time. No brainer. It's like risk reward. You can figure it out pretty simple. You can start tuning pianos faster. You can make more money. You can get Apex certification, and you can be on to your own business. This isn't a job. You're the business owner. You have independence and control. You have flexibility. You have financial gain and equity. You have passion and creativity. You have community impact and prestige. You want that. People want to be important, don't they? I always wanted to be important. Even though now that I'm older, I'm like, I shouldn't have spent all my time trying to think that I'm trying to be important. But people want to be important. That's fine. But if you have your own business, you do get a little bit of that prestige. Like, yeah, I'm a business owner. I created something, and I do something that to me it feels good, right? It feels good just for me. Not that I should care what other people think anymore, but that I should at least have some prestige in my own life. Like, I made my own business. I feel good about that. That feels good. I don't want to work for somebody else. I definitely don't want to go ask somebody if I can go to the bathroom or go on vacation. Forget that crap. Goodbye, 9 to 5. I don't want to go to work, and I'm pretty sure you guys don't either. All right, it's not bad to go to work if you want to go to work, but if you really want to say goodbye 9 to 5, I'm going to show you how to do it right here. You're not alone. You now have a master technician mentor on your side. That's what I can be for you, just like Jack was for me. That's what I can be for you. Okay, I can give you guidance and advice when you don't know what's going on. That's what I'm there for, guidance and advice. I'm also there to give you skills and knowledge when you're like, man, I don't know what to do. How should I get these skills? I can refine your skills faster than you can learn them on your own. Now, you can learn to tune pianos on YouTube all day and all night, and you can join all those stupid Facebook groups with all those people in there saying all kinds of stupid crap, and you might even get yourself a good heckling if you stay in there too long. Yeah, I sound bitter about the Facebook group today. I deleted my post anyway because I'm sick of being heckled in there. And then perspective. A mentor provides perspective. You know why I get heckled in Facebook? Is because I say stuff and I know stuff, and everybody thinks they know everything, right? So I say what I want to say, and I try to help people, and then people that think they know everything, and I'm sure that don't know much of anything, just start heckling you. And it's so sad because I noticed that in my own mentor, when he was writing the Rapid Voicer, he didn't want to share it with anybody anymore. When I met with him, he didn't want to share with them what he had learned in 25 years of experience, because people were heckling him because they just thought that his ideas were out there. And he just said, I'm not telling anybody else my Rapid Voicer program. I'm not telling anybody because they don't understand it. They're not listening. And he was getting heckled. I understand it now. All right, I understand, Jack, what you were going through. Perspective. As a mentor, I can give you perspective along the way. And also, I'm going to give you support and encouragement. So instead of heckling you and making fun of you, when you get stressed out, when you're like, man, I'm not making enough money, or how does this Google Ads work? I'm going to be there to support and encourage you. This is a true one-on-one mentorship. It's only with Apex, and for reals, y'all, it's one-on-one. You can text me, chat me, call me, Zoom me. This is really serious business here. I take it very seriously. And for you, it's like, oh my gosh, are you serious? I'm a master piano technician, over 18 years of experience, thousands and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of tunings under my belt and regulations, and I'm there for you. You just text me and say, hey man, I'm dealing with this. I can help you. I was talking with Karina just the other day. She was in that piano, in and out with that action, and I said, well, try this, try that. And I'd been where she'd been before. I had been, because she was like, man, I've had it out 4 times. I put it back in. What am I doing wrong? And I said, check the springs underneath this thing, whatever. She did. She said, that was it, and she said, thank you. That was nice, because I've been there. I've been there before, because let's see here. Where is her text message? She said, and this is Karina. She's just an alumni. She said, thank you so much for helping. I was getting nervous that I spent an hour and took the action out like 4 times and still wouldn't fix it. But we're finally squeak free. All right. I should put that on there. I should put that screenshot on there. I just want to share with you guys my life. And that's kind of my life right now. I'm helping those people in Apex, make real things. They're in the field. Guys, here's the thing. My students are actually making money. Karina was making money when she was doing that. She's out there working. Now, maybe she doesn't know everything. And who knows everything? Nobody. All right. She needed a little help, and that's what a mentorship was. I never, ever, ever would have made it this far without my mentors. And that's what Apex is all about. So I'll go through a little bit of it with you. The Master Piano Tuning, the Apex Way. That's our flagship course. You're going to learn how to tune pianos better than anybody in the world. You're going to learn faster than any program ever invented on the face of the planet. You're going to learn it the Apex Way. I can guarantee that's going to happen when you sign up. You're going to learn this faster and better than anybody in the entire world. You're also going to learn expert repairs, sticking keys, broken keys, dampers, action repair. You have a repair course, all these things like that. Where's this little thing missing here? Complete action repair course. Learn all that, right? You're going to become a regulation expert. And I loved Jack because he was really an expert. And I charge over $1,500 for a standard regulation, and I do them all the time. So I can just go work for 1 day of the week. In fact, some days I just work 1 day and I'm like, yeah, that's enough. I've made enough. I'm done. And I'll just spend time with my family and do other things. I have other businesses too. Think about that. A lot of my students are multi-entrepreneurs. That's amazing. Diversified in income. Remember Joe from earlier? He made $25,000 in action rebuilds and regulations. This right here, this part of the course is really important because you learn how to become a master regulation expert. And you can learn voicing called the Rapid Voicer. This is Jack's system. And this is a system that Jack was pretty much sick of telling people about because they weren't listening and they were being, stupid. So he said, I'm not going to tell anybody. I said, Jack, please tell me how to voice. Because when I started tuning, I knew I didn't know how to voice. And nobody would tell me how to voice because most people don't know how. And the people that do know how, for some reason, don't want to tell you. And that just goes back down to the whole thing of they're your competition. You want to show your competition exactly how you're doing stuff, making so much money? No. That's why I'm here right now for you. You can launch your business the Apex way. The business and marketing course is top notch. It shows you how to automate everything, double your business every year, and rise to the top. And most importantly, crush your competition. Who wants to crush your competition? I do. I'm not going to hold anything back in this. I'm going to do up close field videos, easy to follow. You get hundreds of back end videos, and these videos are me fixing my clients' pianos, and they're not just in a studio, like a fancy studio where I'm just like, in theory, if things break, we would fix it like this. No, I'm like, hey, I'm at this church, this piano's not working, I can't get this action out, how do we fix it? I take my, still to this day, I take my camera with me everywhere and my tripods and my little microphones, and when I find something, I'm like, this is perfect for my students, I'm recording it and I'm putting it up in our online community. And you get to be a part of that thriving online community in Bolster. It's a VIP community, and any course that you buy, I give access to this now. It's phenomenal. You can message me, text me, watch videos, watch past webinars. And if you're even in the boot camp that's free, you can get into Bolster and you can see sort of how the community would work, all right? So the complete mentorship is 4 modules, plus a business launch and VIP community, piano tuning course, expert repair course, regulation course, voicing course. Oh, so much stuff. It's really too much, actually. You know what? It's too much, too good. It really does feel overwhelming that it's so much. And I tried it this year at least show you exactly what it is. Show you so you can understand everything you're getting. Plus, you're going to get master classes on how to change strings, master class on how to clean a piano, which I make a ton of money cleaning pianos. You're going to get custom Apex condition reports with your name, your logo, and this is how I upsell thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of work. It's a soft sell condition report. It's phenomenal. You can use it. You hand it right to your client. First time I handed this to somebody, I sold them a $900 like regulation cleaning bundle, and they just said, "Yeah, when can you come do it?" So I show you how to sell. TJ is actually a master at upselling. You get perfect website templates. You can also look at people like this is Karina's site. So you're kind of going to copy the alumni's sites, and I give you the web templates so you can launch a website in a weekend. It's no joke. You get my Gazelle templates. Also, I'm going to give you my Google Drive access, which is every graphic, every Canva template, every business card, every postcard, car magnet, stock image, custom reminder template that I've ever used in my business. I keep loading it up into the Google Drive, and I'm going to give you exclusive VIP access to it so that you don't have to remake all this stuff. You know what I mean? You can just launch it. You're going to have the Apex Business Framework checklist. Every step of the way, you're going to follow the map for success from launch to 1,000+ clients. And this is important because if you do this out of order, or if you don't do what I'm telling you guys, you don't get any money. And you call me and you say, "Why is my business not working?" And I say, "Well, did you this? Did you that?" And you go, "No, I didn't do that yet. I didn't do that yet." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's why it's not working. So just do the program, what I'm telling you to do. You're going to become certified. Apex certification, CPT, and a certified master piano technicians. You're going to get your own diploma with your name on it. You're going to get logos to use on your website. People are going to know that you know what you're doing. You're even going to get listed as a featured listing on the APTN site so people can find you, and then it can start getting in SEO. Now, when you join the mentorship, I do this. There's a little bit of a webinar special. I'm going to send you the tools you need. They're going to be sent to your door. This is the Apex Student Starter Tuning Kit. I'm going to send it to you when you enroll. So as long as you enroll while this program is going on, I'm gonna make this as part of the thing. I'm gonna send you this kit. It's over $300 kit. It's got a carbon fiber tuning hammer. It's got the special mutes that I use. You can't get them on eBay. You don't want to buy these cheap junk things on eBay. These are good mutes. These are the ones I use every day. So all you have to do is just work towards your future. There is a great future. It waits for you. It's possible. I've done it. I've seen others do it. My students do it. Now it's your turn to do it. Now, so if you're thinking like, yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, cool. I could do this. This sounds cool. I'm super excited. What do I do next? All right, this is it. This is your chance to do something. All you have to do is go to apexpiano.com, click apply today. That's all you got to do. apexpiano.com, click apply. Now, once you apply, it's going to give you some directions and instructions. You can get on a Zoom call with me. I can talk to you all about pricing, all about financing, payment plans. The great thing about Apex now is we help you get this paid for. You can actually get this paid for. Other people will pay for it for you. People will loan you the money. We have some great financing partners, actually 26 financing partners to get you some great financing. If you say, I don't have the money to do this, I need money to start this, I need the tools, I need the training. Yeah, everything costs money, guys, and that's why you're here, because you need more of it. So the first thing you do is apply today at apexpiano.com. It'll give you instructions. Make sure that you've watched this full webinar, you've applied, and then we're going to get on a call, you and me, not my sales team. I don't have a sales team, actually. I tried to have some sales team stuff, and I've realized, you know what? I just like to talk to people myself. I just like to explain it. And I like to hear about you, and I like you to hear about me. And then when it's like, yeah, this is good for you, I'll help you get the financing. My team, my financing partners will help you get financed to get the program, to get in the program, to get your training, and to start your business. And I can help you with every step of the way. All you got to do, and it's really simple, just go to apexpiano.com, click apply now. That is your next step. If you need help getting started, you can also just text 615-926-2491 and say, hey, I want in. In fact, the last student who enrolled, he just texted me, hey, I'm ready. I want to do this. So if you're thinking like, I got to do this, I want to do this, text me 615-926-2491. That goes. Actually, magically and weirdly enough, it goes right here. You know what I mean? It goes right to this phone. This is my phone, and it's my only phone. You know, a lot of people say, I tried to call this person, I tried to text this person, I tried to email that person, and they wouldn't talk to me. And that's true. That's how the world is. And a lot of these online courses and programs do that to you. They're not going to talk to you. I'm actually going to talk to you, because this isn't just an online course. This isn't just a little thing that I'm making up. This is my life. This is what I do, and this is part of my mission. And if you want help, just send me a quick text. I need help. I want in. Or just go to this apexpiano.com, click apply. apexpiano.com, click apply. Guys, I'm going to check real quick, and if there was any chats, and then I'm gonna end this, because it's time for you to click apply. It's time for you to click apply right now. Go to apexpiano.com,